Hey everybody, it's me Andrew. Get out into nature and tune in. Resonate with the Earth's electromagnetic field via 432 Hertz, the universal frequency. Listen to 528 Hertz, the love frequency, and strengthen up your solar plexus chakra, which is the third chakra and yellow in color. Okay? Strengthen up your gut feeling or your second brain as well. Send me some love telepathically. Set attention to your mind and then set intention to communicate. That is all there is to telepathy. Balance out psychologically and emotionally and strengthen up your aura just like Goku. Strengthen up your brain and your heart's coherence as well, and get a plant-based diet going for yourself and nurture yourself back into life. We are literally herbivores in nature. Further balance out your physical body's pH level and get with alkalinity, then generate some static electricity. You are now tuning in to great days. Now today I got a very simple video and enjoyable video for anybody who is trying to bring some simple change to their life or inner transformation and then live a more heightened life or a more happier life in well-being. Okay, so today's video is process of change. So I'm basically just gonna go over the process of change for me and help you guys come into the same process of change very simply for yourself in order to come about bringing inner transformation for a little bit more well-being in your life, so you can be more in joy instead of misery and disease. You know, disease being dis-ease, which is really just dis-easeful states. Okay, we're truly vibrational in nature. We are truly energy. Okay, many people have proved this, and the Hindus actually know this and live by this, and they call it Maya, which in Sanskrit means magic or illusion, because they know for fact that the world is just energy and that this physical body is truly just an illusion. Okay, we are truly just eternal energy in fluctuation. Alright, and this is a great piece of knowledge to have in your conscious mind to bring about the most impactful change to your life, because it will alleviate you of fearful mind states and lower vibrations such as 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, and it will have you more in a 4th dimensional and 5th dimensional, which 4th dimension or the 4th dimension is literally just opening up the mind to perceive more of life, and the 5th dimension is coming into utilizing or living within your heightened energy field or aura, which is more of a bodiless consciousness. Okay, and that's why the 5th dimension is so powerful, because it is literally when we are in bodiless consciousness, meaning in the 5th dimension I don't truly see my body as a as something that needs to be attached with or identified with. When you're in the 5th dimension, you are bodiless consciousness, and this basically means that you are truly everything, literally everything that you can possibly come into perception or consciousness of. You are that, and that is coming into the 5th dimension. It revolves more around love, gratitude, patience, wisdom, knowledge, and a lot more of these virtuous characteristics. Okay, and further, the 5th dimension also is highly spiritual in nature. There is no need for the physical in the 5th dimension, meaning this physical body is literally just not a hindrance to the fifth dimensional embodiments or bodiless presences, but more of, like I said, it brings you to not needing to be attached to the physical body so much, because you know that the physical body is only temporary, and what further proceeds is a state of transformation, which the bodiless consciousness that you truly are is always within, a constant change or a fluctuation, okay? Now, the process of change comes very simply and naturally to everybody, because the only true constant in life is change. Everything is always in change or always in fluctuation. Like my skin or my cellular composition is literally regenerating itself every month to 2 months. Every month to 2 months, I literally generate a entirely new cellular level from the food that I'm eating, okay? Which right now is only fruits and vegetables, so thank you for putting me on that to myself, alright? One of the best things I've ever done. As is this tree right here, is in a constant fluctuation or a state of change. It is always growing new leaves. It is an entire ecosystem that is always in motion, and if it is in motion, it is always in change. Just as this grass is always growing, and just as that water in that pot right there is always you know, in motion as well, unless it comes to be still. Alright? But what I'm trying to get to is that naturally everybody comes to a state of change, okay? We are always in fluctuation, and that is the only constant in life, okay? Everything else is temporary in life. Now, when you come to be aware that something in your life needs to be changed, this is the first spark of that determination that comes to you to further the process of change. Basically, or more simply, there is going to be a point in your life when you come to be aware or conscious. You generate a higher consciousness of yourself. You come to be self-aware, and when you come to be self-aware, you can then understand and come to know that something needs to be changed, okay? It is an inevitable and natural process, and if you are very stagnant in your life and nothing seems to be changing for lifetimes or literally decades upon decades, then you are probably dealing with ancestral ties or karma, ancestral karma, which is basically things that you have genetically held on to from your family or your ancestors, okay? Let's say they have a very bad addiction to something that isn't good, and then you find yourself stuck within that same action for most of your life. That is an example of ancestral ties or ancestral karma bondage, okay? And karma in Sanskrit means action, okay? So karma is truly just action. You can either be compulsive or you can be conscious. If you are compulsive in your action, then you will be entangled in your activities. If you are conscious in your action, then you will be liberated in your activities, okay? So you can see the process of evolution from being conscious, or you can see the process of contraction and stagnation when being compulsive, okay? And this is something I am working on as well for myself, so we are all dealing with it. It is a collective evolution that is taking place for all of us, okay? So like I said, if you are having trouble bringing change to your life, it could be the ancestral bondage that you hold to your family, and this is harder to deal with, but it is still an inevitable process that you will change, even if it takes you lifetime upon lifetime, because that is, like I said, one of the universal laws, that everything is truly in fluctuation or in change, and that is the only constant that there truly is. So you shouldn't worry too much about the ancestral bondage or the ancestral karma that you hold, because that actually is something that is bringing about the evolution as well, no matter what rate it takes form in or formlessness in. Okay, so once you become aware that something needs to be changed in your life, you then naturally will come to change that at whatever rate your physical or mental or spiritual bodies want to take it. Okay, or even all three in alignment. Your subconscious will slowly bring about an integration of some sort that will actually bring you to a state of change. Okay, and it's literally this simple. When you first start changing, or when you first start bringing change to your life, change, it will seem very, very, very hard, and it will seem like everything is working against you, and it will actually seem like it isn't going to work out. But I can assure you from a experienced state of change for myself that it will work out, because these first stages of change or coming about change, let's say you are on a year of discipline and you are within the first few months. The first few months, you are still going to be acting from that same ego or that same avatar that you were when you decided or became aware that you needed to change. So like I said, it is going to be hard, and everything is going to seem like it is working against you, because you are still acting from that same avatar or that same persona or that same ego that needs to be changed. Okay, so you are literally just experiencing your inward state of being, meaning all of my experience of life is just a reflection of my inward state of being, because I am projecting my experience outward from an inward state. And this is why I say to go generate an inclusive consciousness, or bring your consciousness inwardly, so you can come to know yourself. And when you come to know yourself, you can come to bring fluctuation or change. And then once you bring fluctuation or change, you could bring about more well-being, and you could become more conscious, and you can wake up to your eternal nature and live within the soul, not the physical body, and not even the mind. Okay? Now, like I said, the first few months, you are still acting within that ego, that sense of identity, or that old avatar that needs to be changed. Okay? And everything is going to seem like it is working against you. But as you continue with that determination that came up, or that was generated from that self-awareness that you brought to yourself, that brought you the realization that you needed change, you will continue throughout the months to bring about that change, even if it is subconscious, even if it is semi-conscious, even if it isn't truly conscious, and even if there is fear in the way. That determination that came up or upsurged at the very beginning to bring about that energy for the change will continue to grow like a flame inwardly, and you will further continue to go throughout the months disciplining yourself to the utmost in order to bring yourself to the end result, or a satisfied result of well-being, okay? Or wherever it is you are truly trying to attain or get to. Alright, and then once you get past the first few months, it will start alleviating more of that ego or that avatar that you needed to change in the first place. And that determination, like I said, will grow, and the months will actually start flying by, and what you first started to dread in the beginning months actually will become a very enjoyable process, because your physical body, your mind, and your spirit should be naturally benefiting from this change, because that is what the body does. Everything in nature truly just wants its own well-being and its highest satisfaction, because that is what life does. It needs its life. It is life, and if we aren't in life, then we will strive. okay? And that's what happens after the first few months. You start striving to generate a new ego or a new avatar for yourself, and once you get past the first few months or even the later months, and you start generating that new ego or that new sense of identity or that new avatar, then that old avatar from the higher chakras or the mental body or the spiritual bodies will literally just be repelled outward, like if it was a negative entity, okay? Or let's say the ego, your old ego or the ego that you wanted to change in the beginning was the main cause of your suffering and your misery, and that's what brought you to the self-awareness that you needed to change, okay? After you for some months stay within that determination to change and then finally bring that change, that old ego, that negative entity will literally be repelled outward and be kept literally far out of your aura, as if it is a negative ghost or a poltergeist or something that literally can't stay within your literally 40-foot diameter aura anymore, because it was a negative entity and it was deciding who you identified yourself as the entire time, which had you in misery. But now that you gradually came to that process of change and changed, that negative entity that had you in that state of misery is literally repelled outward. And I had this experience the other day in meditation. I literally saw my younger self, or the self that had me in misery and bad habits and ancestral bondage or karma, was literally repelled outward. I strengthened my aura and it literally flew outward about 40 feet or 20 feet in radius from my physical body, and I saw that entity as an ego. It was my ego, but it was the old ego, the ego that I held on to in high school and the ego that I held on to further after high school, okay? And like I said, I literally just repelled it outward and it has no match for me, okay? It played a part in bringing me to the states of suffering and misery that further brought me to the self-realization and consciousness that further generated the determination in order to bring me to the process of change. But now I am no longer going to hold on to it, so I literally brought a repelling effect to it, and this was very powerful, and this is what brought me to the desire to make this video. Okay, so it's a very simple process to bring about change. Like I said, the formula is literally just surrendering first and foremost, surrendering to what life has to offer you, and once you're in surrender, then you can gradually generate a self-consciousness that will have you bring about the determination that will drive you to bring about change. And that's literally all there is to change. I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Subscribe to my channel for more inspirational and highly knowledgeable content. I love you guys. Have a great day. Peace out. And enjoy your afternoon. Get out into nature and tune in. See you later.